Good morning, everyone. Sorry for being a little bit late there. I was so busy getting my stuff ready, I just lost track of time. Anyway, my name is Dave Schmid. Welcome to the Stamper Studio and Saturday in the Studio. I am glad you have taken a moment to join me this morning. As you obviously know, I am not Lisa. That's pretty clear. Lisa is off watching one of her students compete in a gymnastics match today. So she is off there and I get to be here with you today. So we had just said the other day, I hadn't had a chance to come and fill in for a while. So this is a great chance to do that. Morning, Mary. Hey, Sandy. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Mary Jo. So let's go ahead and get started. As you know, right now is Celebration. Celebration is 2 months, January and February, when for every $60 you place an order, hey Tina, you get to choose something free from the Celebration catalog. And let's go ahead and take a look at what we're using today. In the Celebration catalog, I'm going to come down a little closer. There we go. We are going to be using Pick a Season. Now, as I mentioned in the little text there, if you've been in Minnesota, I feel like we've had 3 out of our 4 seasons this week alone. So appropriate that we are using Pick a Season this week. So Pick a Season is a great stamp set for if you place a $60 order, you could choose Pick a Season for your free item. And let's take a look closer at that. So here is the stamp set. The great thing, obviously, we have a couple tree trunks. We have the canopy, as they say, in a fairly uniform circle shape there. And then we have all these different pieces that you can use to go ahead and create your scene, create your different seasons using Pick a Season. Hey, Diane. Hey, Cheryl. Good morning. So that is what we're going to do today. So let's go ahead and jump in. First thing I want to do is I'm going to take my standard piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and put our canopy on there using Old Olive. Old Olive, tried and true favorite color of many, a great all-purpose green, but we're going to go ahead and use Old Olive. So I'm going to go ahead and get that all inked up. Take a look down here. And nice firm press, looking good. A little light on the bottom, but that's okay. I can live with that. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and put in our trunk. For our trunk, I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use pecan pie. I love pecan pie. I don't know why we only eat it at holidays, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get my tree trunk all inked up. Hey, Tanya. And the tree trunk just kind of nestles right in that little notch that we have down at the bottom. I go ahead and get it there. There we go. Liking my tree trunk. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add in our call it the fruit of the tree. And the nice thing is with this Pick a Season, you have lots of different things that you can put up there in the tree. And so for this, we're going with kind of a Valentine's type theme. And so I'm going to go ahead and use Cherry Cobbler. Cherry Cobbler, nice deep red, great for many, many things. And I'm just going to ink that up. And we will stick some there. We'll twist a little bit and put some there. Coming over this way. And there we go. We now have all of our hearts up in our tree. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put in the grass and the picket fence. Now, with both of these, one thing I like to do is I like to put a Post-it note right across the bottom. The reason I like to do that is I'm going to have to use a couple stamps of my grass to get it all the way across. I mean, I guess I could do just one, but I'd like grass there. And by putting help line also, if I overlap it, I'm still going to have a nice clean edge at the bottom, which for this, I kind of like that clean edge. And so I'm going to do it that way. For our grass, I'm going to go ahead and use Granny Apple Green, a little bit brighter, give our grass a little bit of brightness there. And so I'm going to go ahead and ink up that. Come to that side, a little more ink, line it up. There we go. Now I have my grass all across the bottom. We are good to go there. Next, I'm going to add in our picket fence. Now the picket fence is another one. I mean, it's just a small little section of fence. I'm already getting ink everywhere. I'll try not to get that on my card. And for our picket fence, I'm going to go with Early Espresso, a little bit darker, darker than my tree trunk, and gives me something there. All right, now with this, again, I'm just kind of going to go up a little bit so we see a little bit of green below it. Now here's the find this one to get just right. And not bad, a little dark. And we'll go one more over there. Not perfect, but you know what? Who of us is perfect? So I think my picket fence with a little bit of jag there is going to be just fine. So there we have our first piece. Our tree with our hearts, added my fence in down at the bottom. And so now I'm going to take that and I am going to get our next piece ready. I'm going to set that aside for just a second. I'm going to mat it on here. This is from the, Distressed, I think it's the Distressed Gold Designer Series paper. Drawing a blank on that just for a second there. It also has the cherry cobbler, so we're tying in nicely with our tree, but I don't want it to be just a plain rectangle. So we're going to go ahead and add a little detail to the bottom. Now, what I'm going to do is I'd like to have sort of a pennant look, but I don't have a punch that's exactly that size that'll work for me. So what I'm going to do is, this is, forgot the name of this one. This is one of our punches. We'll put it in the chat later with which one it is. I'm going to go ahead and take a look, keep it kind of in the center, and I'm going to go a little further up and punch that. Okay? So I have these little flat edges there, which if I was making a sandwich board type look, I'd be fine with that. But I'm not doing that for this card. So let's go ahead and take our snips. And what I'm going to do is just kind of line my snips up and continue that angle right across. I have to go a little further in. And just kind of continue that line on down to the corner. I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. There we go. So now I kind of have my pennant tail there, even though I didn't have a punch exactly the size of this paper that we're going to be matting onto. All right. So next up, I'm going to go ahead and adhere my stamped piece onto here. Since I have that detail on the bottom, I'm just going to kind of line up the rest of it. Just like that. A little bit up from our bottom, have my pennant showing. I'm okay. I think that looks good. We're going to go with that. All right, now let's go ahead and get ready the sentiment that's also going to go on our finished card. Now for this sentiment, the one I'm going to use is, my stamp set is here, comes from Heart Shaped. Heart Shaped is another set that comes in our Celebration catalog. This is a 120 purchase to get this for free. And the reason for that is you get the Heart Shaped stamp set and you get the dies that come with it. So you get these great dies. And so I'm going to use where is it? I'm going to use My Heart Loves Your Heart, and I'm going to use one of the die cut pieces from that. So now, as you know, really the best thing to do would be to stamp this and then die cut it. But in the interest of time and not having you watch me do it, we're just going to go this way. I'm going to use our cherry cobbler. So we are going to go ahead and ink that up. And then I shall try to get it just right on our paper. All right. Possibly, no, I think it looks pretty good. Hold it up there for you to see. So My Heart Loves Your Heart in our cherry cobbler on that die cut piece. And now we are going to put together our whole card. I'm going to close up some ink, not getting my hands in anymore. All right, you guys all know I told Lisa to get new pads, and I still have some old ones here. So we're going to have to finish ordering the rest of those new pads because I think that would just be helpful. All right, so I'm going to take our standard card base. Sorry, it's white. I want to make sure I don't have any ink on my hands. And I'm going to go ahead and we're doing a top fold with this one. It is scored, but I'm still going to try to line it up here, get us all situated. All right, and the bone folder has, there's one. All right, I have that little smudge there, so we're going to use this side, and we're going to cover up that, so this should all work. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little embellishment. I'm using this open weave trim. It's in gold. I was telling Lisa, I feel like it almost looks a little bit greenish, so sort of a greenish gold, maybe a vintage gold type color. But I'm going to go ahead and take that and wrap it around. And attempt to tie a little bow. Now, I'm not afraid of bows, but this isn't exactly the easiest ribbon to work with. So we're going to see how this goes. All right, so nice thing is I haven't attached it down yet. You know what? I didn't leave myself enough for a bow. We were going with a knot, just like that design choice made. The fact that I cut my ribbon too short made the choice for me. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap that around. Yeah, with this open weave, it's like, all right, which piece am I pulling on? There we go. So I'm going to pull the first one nice and tight. Pull the second one, and boom. Just like that, we have our little knot. I want it off center. You're going to see why in a second. I'll wait to trim it till we get the rest of the pieces on. All right, next I'm going to add in main element. And, you know, Lisa's not here, but we're going to pop it up anyway. A bunch of our regular size dimensionals on here. All right, and I will get take my pick and pop off the backings. Come on, there you go. Get all of those off. All right, next I'm going to go ahead and position this, and I'm going a little off center because obviously I have my knot over to the other side. So I'm just going to kind of equalize my top and left borders. I like where my knot's landing, and I'm going to stick that right there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and snip my tails a little bit here. So I just have my knot. Sorry, that was off camera while I was doing that. I don't have someone on the other side saying, move it up, move it up. All right, and then we're going to add in our sentiment, which our sentiment, I'm thinking I'm just going to add it right below. We have a nice space there. I could have even done it before I put it on, but I wasn't 100% sure where it was going to end up. So let's go ahead and just get some adhesive on there. And line that right up there. A little off center. Let's see if I can get it up without damaging too much. There we go. My giant hands, it's a little harder to see as we go. So there we go. We have all our different pieces. We put together our tree, my slightly crooked picket fence there, and all that is ready to go. Now, obviously, we could go ahead and put another sentiment inside. I didn't pick one out, so I don't have one right here ready to go, but there's our card. So let me, I've got a couple more things, but before we do, let me just remind you, you know, we always have Escape and Create is our in-person event. It's happening at the Refuge Little Falls. It is happening Valentine's weekend. The great thing about Escape and Create is it is a stamper-focused weekend. We are going to have 10 different projects ready for you to make. 10 different projects, cards, 3D items, scrapbook pages, or home decor, depending on how you choose to use it. All of those things are going to be available for you to make during that weekend. So you get to come, stay at the Refuge Little Falls, come on Friday, stay until Sunday. We will provide all of your meals. You have the great place to sleep. Just this past weekend, again, we had people raving about our beds. I love that people love our beds. They're very comfortable, but that's an option for you. I will say we had a couple people who said, you know what, can I just come for the day? Can I just come on Saturday and make all 10 of my projects on that day? And the answer is yes. We did figure that out. If you want to do that, go ahead and reach out to us, and I can get you set up with that. But Escape and Create coming up February 14th through the 16th, Valentine's weekend, and we would love to see you there with us. So let's come back over, and here is actually a card that I looked at that was the original inspiration. You can see why I was thinking about a bow there, but frankly, I cut it too short, and with my big hands, it's probably a better option anyway. A little bit different. I kind of like the Designer Series paper as the mat, but this is a nice, clean, simple card. Great alternative way to do the one that I just made. You can see this one's a little more centered, whereas mine, I chose to go a little more off center, up to the side. Kind of nice to mix it up once in a while. So that's another card for you, another option for you. But you know, I was thinking about this set, and I was thinking about some of the different things you could do with it for different seasons. And one of the things, the first time I saw this set, I kind of had a different idea or another idea of what you could do with it. And what I thought was, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp our tree canopy up there. And I will add our trunk back in using pecan pie. And don't worry, I'm not going to make the whole card, just a little piece of it. So we've got our trunk there. But I was thinking there was a designer series paper that I thought would be really fun to use with this. And so I was looking for just a round shape that we could use. And I know we have one. I couldn't find it this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and use my marker and add some little dots here. Because what I think this tree would look good paired with is our citrus paper. I think the paper that we have with the citrus would make a great backdrop for this tree, because to me, the first time I saw that, I thought that looks like an orange tree. And so I think doing something where we use the tree with the orange and that designer series paper behind it would make a really nice alternative way to use the stamp set. And like I said, I would probably find an actual stamp that I could make my oranges, but for the sake of just showing you the concept, I think that works okay. So there you have it. Let me bring our cards that I just had. Where did I just set them? There they are. Bring back our card from this morning and go ahead and say thank you for joining me this morning. I know I'm not Lisa, but hopefully you enjoyed that presentation. And obviously, go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section. If you stamp something using these sets, go ahead and post them in our chat as well. And other than that, until Monday, happy stamping. And my technology isn't helping me.